I think the common understanding of psychology, and of course a common understanding can never be as complete or as rich as a well-studied understanding, educated, whether that be educated through experience or through school or through self-teaching or what have you. Anyway, one of the things that I think is really lacking in the conversations about psychology and just the way we think about it is I don't think that there's a very good appreciation for the difference between the persona and the ego. And I think even the ego itself sometimes gets a little too harsh of a view, or is viewed negatively. But I think a lot of the times when we're talking about the ego, we're really talking about the persona. Why does this matter? It's just a word. Well, that's true. It doesn't matter, but we lack the distinction between the I, ego, me as I think of myself, versus my authentic self. But we don't make the distinction between the I as I present myself to myself and the I as I present myself to the world. And of course, I think different facets of our ego have certain, similarities. I'd say congruencies, but there could never be a congruency between a definition of oneself to oneself and one's presentation, obviously, but there are certain facets that bear similarities between the two, so we can say, well, this part of my ego is connected with this part of my presentation of myself, my persona. But they're really two different things, and I think that's one of the reasons why for those who choose asceticism to pull themselves in some way away from society to satisfy an introverted aspect of human nature. I think that's why that can be healing for even the ego, because all of a sudden you begin to think of yourself, your ego starts the dialogue with the self, rather than the ego having a dialogue with the persona. So cutting off that constant outside influence, it just makes sense it's going to bring you closer to yourself, because that aspect of yourself has to look inward work and no longer look outward. So that makes a lot of sense. And so that's just one thing. I think that just even in popular speech, vernacular, it would be good if we could begin thinking and talking about that separation, the difference between the ego and the persona. And then also just another thing worth noting, of course I didn't create it, but I'd like to promote the idea that perhaps, because we call people egotistical and so on, and the ego in and of itself gets a really bad rap. I think it's a little too much, and I think we go a little too far in trying to destroy our individuality. Subjectivity is a necessary aspect of life, as is objectivity. The relativists may not care for that much, but I guess that's the side I'm coming down on for the moment. Seems rather cogent at this point. it's what we do with that focus on I, and it's what we do with that focused presentation outward. If those are not ourselves, then at the least they are a tool of the self, and whether we use those tools consciously or unconsciously. And not to even say that all unconscious things are bad. Some could be subconscious, some could be the subconscious fruition of that which we see to bring, that which we wish to bring into the world. Sometimes our subconscious can do that type of work for us. But also, sometimes our subconscious can manifest those desires that have been so repressed and in that way perverted. Sometimes our subconscious can manifest some ugly things. But anyway, then there's also the superconscious. That can be good. But being as though I have no control over that aspect of myself, I can't really say about it too much. And also, I really don't know, there could be bad things from that area too that I'm not familiar with. I just think it's worth noting that we can use the way we think about ourselves and the way we present ourselves as tools of the self. I'm not saying that you'll reach enlightenment doing this. I have no idea. I'm not enlightened. But it seems to make sense that as if you are like me, I'm pretty sure like most everybody, still rely on the ego and persona. And maybe you can never escape that. Maybe you never can. Maybe you can, I don't know. But as long as we do use them, they can be a tool to propagate wellness and returning to selfhood for ourselves and to others. So, yeah, ego versus persona, good and bad in each. Worth thinking about.